Hi Danny, how you been? I suppose look to start, Danny. An opening they lost, but a lot of positive to take from the Piedmont game.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think that for us, like we done a lot of the right things in the game. I think that the goals they got were goals of quality, really, and we limit them to very few chances in the game. And we probably created a few ourselves, but not, wasn't clear cut enough with our chances in terms of the ones we tried to create. But I do think, like for us, like defensively, we looked really strong. The midfield and stuff like that, how we played and what we tried to do and implement within the game was good. But as I think I've said a couple of times, we stuck to it too often. Whereas, as we've discussed it as a group, is like we want them to have their own thinking within the game. Like this is an idea that might happen, but like you use your own heads as well and have your own ideas within the game. And we just kind of stuck to the plan, and which is good because they're listening to what you say. But sometimes they've got to think for themselves and make their own decisions on the pitch, and they might not always be right and they might get it wrong, but they've got to be able to make their own decisions as well.
Perfect. And Evelyne, I suppose one of the things that stood out was probably an intensity and a physicality that we might not have seen from City teams down through the years. Is that a sign of a tough pre-season that Danny put you through and a lot of gym work?
Yeah, definitely. I think even just from that's something Danny's kind of instilled in us, like even just apart from the gym. I think like from this time last year, like we're way more aggressive than we would have been, and that's not something that you find in the gym. I think that's something off the pitch that you could then bring into the pitch. But definitely it's helped us get stronger now. We have been working hard pre-season and even the off-season before that. So I think we're definitely stronger as well, but that aggression is there as well. So it's a good mix to have.
And Danny, it was a competitive start to the season. That like there was no game that was, no team was getting beaten by very many goals. It was competitive. I suppose one of the results that might have shocked some was Galway's win away to Athlone. That's obviously where we're heading this weekend. Was there anything you could take from that game, or did how's Galway set up change how you're going to approach the match?
No, look, we went into the Piedmont game as well with an eye on how we need to set up going into the Galway game and how they play and the way they do things. So, we wanted to have a bit of consistency over the two games and playing a similar formation or maybe a little variation of it, but having similar sort of ideas of how we do things in the game, because they're both very similar in what they do. With Galway play have a diamond in midfield, so they overload things centrally, and I felt that like we were very strong centrally on the weekend, and there's things where we could have been a bit more attack minded within the game. But I feel from a defensive point of view, we've done a lot of really good things, and it's now just adding them other little bits in that we can improve on and go into the game on the weekend.
And Evelyne, I suppose you're a former Galway Women's FC underage player, and Phil Trill was your manager there. Is there any insights that you can be giving the team ahead of that, and what kind of motivation, or is that kind of something that you're maybe a little bit too far removed from it at this stage?
To be fair, like there are a lot of girls on the team that I would have played with, so I suppose I know how a few of them would play. Like I know some of their strengths, some of their weaknesses, so that's only a bonus for us. But look, I don't look at it any differently than I look at any other game. I don't prepare any differently or approach it any differently, but it's just nice like to know that there are a few things I can pull from playing with them, I suppose.
And Danny, I suppose looking forward to the weekend, you mentioned that Dorothea came in late last week and she had that ability to slow the game down in some of your post-match comments. She obviously played for the 19s as well, just to get some more minutes into her legs. How are the players that are kind of new to the group starting to get those minutes in and build up? And are there any injury worries ahead of the weekend?
Just the only one's Chloe, really. Chloe won't be available for the weekend. She got a knock on her knee, which she injured last season during the game on Saturday. And we kind of said at half time, it looked a little bit swollen. So I just said, look, just take her off and it's fine. And we just feel there's no rush to get her back for this weekend, because it's just something that if it goes or gets any worse, it could lead to 8-9 games where if we just look after her and we get things right now, then she'll probably only miss 1 game or 2 games max. So that's probably our only real concern. Getting players minutes is always difficult when the season's on. We was meant to have a friendly game today, but obviously with the weather we've had in Cork, we've had to cancel the game, and we would have been able to get girls some more minutes. So that we've got to be creative with what we do as a staff to try and get them the minutes and give them the opportunity to have game time, because everyone's going to be needed, and everyone within the squad now is very competitive. So if players don't get minutes, like we can't expect them to do well when they come on. So we've got to try and make sure we get them the minutes and get them the match minutes to stay fit, so that when their opportunity comes, they're able to take the opportunity and maybe keep someone else out of the team, or just to help the team do well.
I suppose one final thing aside from the Galway game at the weekend is the fixtures for the All-Ireland Cup were announced during the week, and look, I have to ask, we're obviously playing that first game away in Ferrycarrig Park. What's the thinking behind that, or is there a particular reason that decision was taken?
No, look, Turner's Cross wasn't available, so we moved the fixture. We let them play there. I'm not moving away from Turner's Cross, so I'm not playing in a different ground, and the pitch wasn't available, so we said we'd reverse the fixture and play at Wexford.